Episode 6, The Yellow Engine. One evening, Rusty, the narrow-gauge diesel, was arranging some empty trucks at Boulder Quarry. The other engines had finished their jobs for the day, and Rusty was looking forward to joining them in the shed. Just then, Rusty's engineer jumped down from his cab for a quick smoke break. As Rusty sat waiting for his engineer to come back, he thought he could hear the faint sound of an engine puffing in the distance. "That's strange," said Rusty. "I didn't think we had any night trains scheduled." Just then, Rusty's engineer came back. "All done, boy," said his engineer. "Now we can go back to the shed. I'm sure you're looking forward to a rest." Yes," said Rusty. Just a question. Is anyone on the night train today?" There are no night trains scheduled." "But why do you ask?" "Because I'm pretty sure I heard an engine puffing in the distance." "I haven't heard anything," said his engineer. "Are you sure?" "I'm sure," said Rusty. "You're probably just a bit more tired than you thought. Come on, let's get you home." "And not a moment too soon," Rusty muttered as he rolled away, still feeling a bit uneasy about the whole situation. When Rusty reached the junction, his engineer got out to switch the points. While Rusty was waiting, he thought he could hear the puffing sound again. "Are you all right, Rusty?" said his engineer. "You look a bit pale." "Huh? Oh, yeah," said Rusty. "I'm all right. Let's just get moving again." Just as the junction was set, Rusty soon started backing down, heading towards the shed. But while Rusty was backing down the line, he caught a glimpse of a yellow engine turning off and heading towards the mine. "Duncan?" said Rusty to himself. "What's he doing out this late?" Rusty soon returned to the transfer yard. The other narrow-gauge engines were there. "Duncan," Rusty asked, "what were you doing up near the mine?" "Me?" said Duncan. "I haven't been up there at all." "Why'd you ask?" "Because when I was returning back from the quarry, I thought I saw an engine turning off towards the mine. I didn't get a good look at him, but he was definitely yellow." "Well, it can't have been me," said Duncan. "I've been here most of the afternoon. I finished my last train a few hours ago." "Maybe the thing controller has purchased another engine," said Peter Sam. "That, or you're going crazy, Rusty," said Rheneas. "I'm not going crazy. I know what I saw." "I know a story about an old yellow engine," said Freddie. "Really? Like a legend?" "I can't say for sure, but it goes something like this. Back in the early days of the Mid-Sodal Railway, Duke, me, and Peter Sam were the only 3 permanent engines on the whole railway. Sure, they would borrow engines from here and there, but the controller decided they needed a 4th engine of their own to help on the railway. But the Mid-Sodal Railway didn't have much money. So when the controller scored a deal with a heritage railway in Argentina called Trenes Las Nubes, he took it at once. The engine that came was a large yellow tank engine, who didn't speak a word of English, so communicating with him was difficult, and no one was able to ever get his name. Despite this, he was a hard worker who did his work in a timely manner and was never late. To most, he looked like a suitable candidate for the Mid-Sodal fleet. However, Those who worked closest to him began to notice some strange behavior and realized maybe all wasn't right with this engine. He'd frequently mutter under his breath. Though no one could understand, it appeared to be some sort of chant that went along the lines of Carew Marie O'Donnell Loma Malonu Carano. He was quiet about it, but some still noticed. But even stranger, the migrant workers of the railway noticed that it wasn't Spanish, but an unknown language. Many workers from a wide variety of nationalities tried to understand what he was saying, but to no avail. But perhaps even stranger was his behavior at night. Some nights, the engine would leave his shed for unknown reasons, chanting in his weird language. No one knew what he did or where he went. The only thing they did know is that he would always be back by the morning. Many people became increasingly nervous around the engine, and since no one could ask where he went at night, rumors began to spread about the strange things he might be up to. It became so bad that the manager decided to follow the engine and find out what he was up to. The manager and our crews would hide in our cabs, waiting for the yellow engine to leave. Then one night, the yellow engine began chanting in his odd language. The men readied themselves, and just as they suspected, the yellow engine began puffing out of the sheds and into the mist. "After him!" we cried, and wasting no time whatsoever, the three of us rushed off in an attempt to catch up with the yellow engine. We weren't going to let him get away this time. We were going to find out what he was up to once and for all. But strangely, that would be the last time that anyone saw the yellow engine. Even though the three of us checked up and down the line, we were unable to find him. It was as if he had completely vanished into the mist. The three of us continued looking for the engine long into the morning and continued looking for the next few days. But we found no trace of the yellow engine or where he had gone. The only clue we did get came from a signalman who claimed he had seen the engine heading towards the mines. But no one could verify this, sensing something off about the entire situation. Soon the manager ceased looking for the engine and ordered a new engine called Falcon. This engine would become to know as Sir Handel, who would have his own set of issues, but not quite as bizarre as that old yellow engine. The manager, not wanting word to get out about the whole ordeal, completely erased any records of the yellow engine's existence. Photographs, files, incident reports. Everything about the yellow engine was completely destroyed. The yellow engine had only been on the railway for a month in total, so it wasn't difficult to destroy everything. He instructed his staff to never speak of the yellow engine ever again, and if anyone did ask where the yellow engine was, the manager would just say he'd been simply sold off to another railway. Before long, everyone had forgotten about the legend, and he had successfully made as if the yellow engine never existed. However, over the years, people have claimed to see the yellow engine going up and down the railway, chanting in his odd language, going to who knows where. But no one can say for sure, as for those who get close enough to tell you, are never seen again. Wow, That was quite the story, Freddie. Although it sounds like it's more in folklore than reality. Agreed, said Duncan. You probably just saw a yellow car or something. Where did you hear that story, Freddie? Said Rheneas. Oh, I don't know. Probably from some tourist or something. So, either you did see a demon engine, or literally anything else. I'm gonna go with literally anything else, said Rusty. Well, say whatever you want. It's just a story. I don't know about you guys, said Duncan, but I've had a long day and I'm just gonna get some sleep. Right, said all the engines. The following night, Rusty had to take some empty trucks up to the stone quarry. But he couldn't stop thinking about Freddie's story. I wonder if that engine actually existed, he said to himself. But then, he heard the puffing sound that he had heard the other day. He looked around, but no one was there. But then, the ghostly image of the yellow engine suddenly appeared. Rusty was horrified. Carew, Marie, O'Donnell, Loma, Maluno, Carano, the engine chanted in a low voice. No, please! No! Freddie and Peter Sam heard Rusty scream. They hurried over to where they heard him. But when they got there, Rusty was nowhere to be seen. Only his trucks remained. Where did Rusty go? He was right here, wasn't he? He was. But where has he gone? Will Rusty be gone forever? Or will the narrow gauge engines be able to save him? Find out in the next episode, Rusty and Alberto.